How is everybody doing? Oh my gosh. Oh
yeah,
my
well,
Lord.
how long it take you motherfuckers to cut a check?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the cheer, Lucent. God bless you. And I'm a funny guy. My mic's a little low, eh? Well, so is my penile when standing. Damn near hits my ankles. So here we have it. How is that? Is it okay? Can you guys hear me all right? All right? Let me just open this water here. Oh, goodness gracious me. A little thirsty here. I just needed a little snack to get me going. Oh my gosh, how's everyone's week been, if you don't mind me asking? How's everyone done? How's everyone fared this week? Oh, I'm putting the sacred powders in here. All right. Ooh, a little more, huh? Oh. There we have it. I love blue juices. Oh my god, limited run games. How about that? This will be... Oh, hi, Ocelot. Nice to see you. This is going to be a RGH number 3 to a Jasper unit. And a little background in case people weren't following along. Last time we had a 10-hour Xbox 360 marathon stream. What had happened was the Pico flasher that I was using doesn't report errors when reading in data, and so we read in the NAND off of Steve Kulov's Xbox, and it read in 100%, but there were errors in it. We read it, it did a second pass, and it found the same amount of errors. So when it did a checksum, when it ran the first dump against the second dump, they still matched. Well, the dump was corrupted to begin with. And so when we loaded it, and when we loaded Zell, the bootloader, and it started writing data into it, it launched. The console booted perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with the reset glitch hack. This was just, this was a programming error, a writing error. It loaded fine, but when it started writing data from the bootloader back into the memory, the whole memory corrupted. I sent that memory. Actually, we had the author of JRunner. We had Josh Davidson here. Very nice kid. Very good guy. Probably the most knowledgeable person when it comes to reset glitching the Xbox 360 because he's written some of the premier tools. As a matter of fact, he's responsible really for the RGH3 method being as good as it is. Nonetheless, he was here. I gave him a copy of that dump. It was thoroughly corrupted. I'm going to send him that board, that Falcon motherboard of Steve's, so hopefully he can reconstitute the data and get it back up and going. Oh, can I lower the lower the music a little bit here? Sure. There, that should be a little bit lower. But ultimately, all the problems that we had last time that we were fighting with was just a bad dump. Bad dump of the software. I'm going to eat this real quick. I have since learned to put the Pico flasher away, and subsequently, after the fact, an overwhelming amount of people came forward and told me that while they've also had good luck with Pico flasher, I have too in the past, they have experienced that exact same problem. I will not be using Pico Flasher anymore. If you look at the GitHub history and look at all the pull requests and all the edit requests, it's vastly unsupported. And there are a lot of things that are not very polished. Having said that, I bought this off of... I bought this from the Mod Shop, which is a dude who specializes in Xbox wares. I bought this a long time ago. The reason I used the Pico Flasher was because it was free, effectively. It's $4. You make your own wiring harness, and it can work. But ultimately, I'm only going to be using the X Flasher Pro from this point on. The modshop.co here. Excellent flasher. It's not expensive. I think you can still get this for $30, maybe $35. Supports RGH2. It supports RGH3. Reading and writing from a plethora of all Xbox consoles. You could program the CPLD of your glitch chips. which we also did because we even went, man, we went through great lengths. After the RGH3 stuff just seemed to be busted, we then installed an RGH2 glitch chip, programmed the glitcher, still no dice, memory was busted. At any rate, the X-Flasher 360 is really worth the 35 odd bucks. Just spend it. I love open source things. I love things that don't cost a lot of money, but when it's at the detriment of your system or console, it's not worth it. So the old Xbox will be back in order once Josh can get a hold of it. He's got special tools, and he's got a special skill set that I don't have. Okay, now. So here we go. Okay. Okay. I'm imagining you guys want to hear me talk about limited run games and their recent scandalous expose. You look more like a bum every time I see you. Well, Sparrowhawk, that's not what your mother told me last night. That's not what she told me. Okay. No. Limited rip-off games. Limited scan games. Here's the quick and dirty. Limited run games started producing 3DO software. They did a re-release of D for the 3DO. Customers got it. It's a $65, $70 release just for the base edition, I guess. Limited run games, rather than pressing the discs, their expensive limited edition runs were burned to a CDR backup. Some cheap-ass generic chemical dyed CDR. They released a press statement, not telling other customers about this, by the way. There was no transparency about this whatsoever. They released a statement stating that they had difficulty in pressing 3DO software and getting it to run correctly. So they opted to use CDRs, which, by the way, backup media is much harder on an optical pickup than a press disc, number one. So that's bullshit. Number two, there's nothing uniquely exceptional about data and the way it's laid out on a 3DO disc. It's no different than any other piece of data. That's bullshit. Number three, their initial statement, their whole angle was, we couldn't do this reliably, that's why we use CDRs. Well, now that people are complaining, immediately they said, we're going to take care of this. We're sending everybody a pressed copy of the game on 3DO, and there will be no problems. You spent all this time trying to do it, and you couldn't do it, and now that people are complaining because you've been caught, you can magically do it. Limited run games, it's a bastion of thievery and just unscrupulous lies and manipulation and deception. Limited run games is absolutely problematic. And as far as I'm concerned, that is not a matter of opinion. Historically, if you go back and look at some of the massive missives that they've went over, they're scammy. You can't tell me that Josh Fairhurst, the CEO of Limited Run Games, who any chance he can, any opportunity he can grab, gets on Twitter and brags about a new complete collection he just bought up off somebody, doesn't know the fundamental difference in value between a CDR and a pressed disc. He's a bad faith actor. Anywho, those are my feelings. Those are my feelings on limited scam games. You may not agree, and that's okay. But I think, realistically and historically, if we look back, there's a consistent theme and trend with how they do business, and most importantly, how they treat their consumer and customer. I would not be surprised if the FTC, SEC, and all these sorts of organizations, because the fact of the matter is, it's just video games. Well, it's also just a business. It's a business that racks in quite a bit of money. And when there's money exchanged, things need to be taken a little more seriously, because money's hard to earn, as far as I'm concerned, because it's hard for me to earn. And I don't think that the fact that we're talking about video games cheapens or mitigates the reality of the fact that they are just scamming people. Ugh. Okay, so everyone's doing good here. Everyone's happy. What we have in front of us, let me just get some stuff here ready. Perfect, okay. Let me ask you real quick. Music okay and audio for the mic okay? Just a quick check here to see if we're all in good shape. Back over here so I can see. Very good. All good? Great. Okay, so any other things that we want to talk about before I get started here? Oh, excuse me. Okay. Okay, very good. Let's talk about how hot you are, how hot I am. It's very hard to talk about that. I mean, it is true, fundamentally. Any chance of you doing a RetroChim install at some point? No. There's no chance in hell I would ever support those unscrupulous yo-yos who lie through their teeth to everybody. And I'll just say that very honestly. Why don't you go ask one of their C-tier modders that shore up their products to do an install? I'm sure they'd love to both take your money and fuck you in the ass. Okay, so having said that, let's get to it. Lionheart 8, any idea why my expansion audio may not be working on? I have no idea. Unless you're the guy I banned a long time ago from Twitter, I don't think I can help you. Alright, so, guys. We have a Jasper unit here. Now, this unit's been serviced by me. This was a GameStop unit that they did a 12-volt fan mod to. In addition to, they had, I don't have them here, I have the spacers still, but I had to replace the heat sinks because they did this bolt mod. And mind you, I am not a very big Xbox aficionado, 360 aficionado. I'm very much so a rank amateur. So I was surprised to learn that GameStop, across the board, when they would refurb again in an Xbox 360, they would do this bolt mod where they would remove the X clamps, and they would then bolt in with these huge bolts the heat sinks directly.
Yeah, well, how long it take you motherfuckers to cut a check?
Oh my God, Martin McGrath, what a mouth on you. Thank you so much, Martin, for the super chat. I don't see the message here. Goodness, question. Hold on, let me check something real quick here. A little loud? Yeah, let me fix that real quick. I'm sorry about that. Let me do a quick fix here. That was a little bit loud. Okay, this should come down considerably. Okay, hold on just 1 second. Give me just 1 second here. I'm fixing something real quick here. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I am going to handle something real quick. I'm sorry, are you the same Lionheart that used to troll me on Twitter all the time? Lionheart8 that I had to ban for being just an asshole? And you're asking me for help? I just want to make sure you're the same guy. I just want to make sure, because this always happens. There's always some jerk who's an asshole, and yet they still want help. And I want to be sure if that's you or not before we go forward. Hold on, guys, just a second. I want to see if this is the Lionheart who always had something very unscrupulous to say about me, yet always asks for help for products that I don't even sell to him. Is this you, Lionheart? Okay, if I find out it's you, I'm going to ban you into oblivion, and I'm going to call your mother on you. But I didn't sell you your mod board, so go get support from whoever you bought it from. Okay. Anywho, let's get back on this. This is a Jasper unit, one of the most reliable fat Xbox 360 that was ever created. GameStop indiscriminately, you see Jasper right here, GameStop would indiscriminately take these units and do this stupid bolt mod, which really torques the heat sinks down onto the heat spreaders and the dies actually. And it was absolutely devastating because these boards would start to bow. I took the bolt mods off and I absolutely replaced them with proper X clamps, and I bought new heat sinks. As a matter of fact, here are the old heat sinks. The heat sinks were drilled out and tapped so that the bolts would fit through the board, and you would just clamp them down with a lot of force. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Anywho, I fixed that, repasted it. This board's in good shape. The only thing that we're going to do is we're going to RGH it. Now, RGHing obviously means reset glitch hack. We don't have to have a glitch chip. I have done numerous Falcons and Jaspers, and I've never had any reliability issues with the RGH3. Of course, if you do, you can always do an RGH2. I'm just getting at the resistor that we need, which is a 22K right here. But ultimately, you know, I've had great sex with the Xbox 360, and I will continue having great sex with all of your mothers and fathers if permitted. Now listen, the RGH3 is the easiest reset glitch method that's available. It's easy because it doesn't require a glitch chip. It's really just a resistor and possibly a diode. We're going to do it without the diode to see if it works, and everything works great. We won't worry about it, but if we have reliability issues getting this to glitch, we'll put the diode in there. The diode is just a cheap trick to kind of translate voltage to a different threshold. It works, but I don't think it's super needed here. But ultimately, just a couple of wires to get this going. Now, before we do that, well, let me ask you this. We got two things we got to do. We got a 2-wire mod that we have to do that comprises the entirety of the reset glitch hack. Just 2 wires. We also have to wire in our programmer with these little leads right here to dump, to read in, and write to the NAND. Do you want me to? I'm not even going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you. We're going to do the mod first. Let's do the mod first. So what we have here. Let me get my beautiful hair out of my way. Voltar looks a little scruffy, might need a haircut. Do I come to your house and talk about you for your lack of complexion because you don't go outside and touch grass? Do I do that to you, Philippe? I don't think so. Or the fact that you've never been with a woman or a man. Do I do that to you? No, I don't. Don't be rude. It's so rude, Philippe. Anywho, let's go ahead and do the 2-wire mod. It's simple to do. We'll bring up some documentation here. Right in here. Oh my God! I mean, come on. Imagine going to somebody's house or their stream and commenting on their physical appearance in a negative way, and you don't even know them. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, what the hell's the matter with you? And don't say you're neurodivergent or you have Asperger's. I'm so sick of people falling back on that whenever they want to act poorly. Okay? Jesus H. Christ. Okay? Jesus. Let's pull up these RGH3 diagrams here. So what we have here, courtesy of the Weekend Modder, we have this whole system here on his website, a whole tutorial here, where it's from start to finish for the most part.
Yeah, well, how long it takes
Oh my gosh.
to cut a check?
Thank you, EB Chill. What kind of sex would the PS3... Well, I'll tell you, the PS3 is a lot more sensual, it's a lot more soft, it's a lot more soothing. Okay? That's what that is. That's what the PS3 is. So, sorry about that. Weekend Modder, their website has a full-on tutorial here, including everything from how to identify the revision. Now, the easiest way to identify that revision is just to look at the power input, and you can see here from the graphics that we have. If we look at this and we compare this power port to what we've got on screen, it's very clear that I have a Jasper unit. This is the final revision, and it's also the most reliable revision out of the box of the fat Xbox 360. Okay, so we've identified that. Now if we scroll down here, we have all the points that we need to access and we need to tap in order to get our program or interface to the NAND, so we can read and write that in. So that's very important, and we'll be referencing this in a minute, but for now, we need to scroll down right here, and we need to start getting some points. So we've got a CPU PLL, that's one conductor, and then we have the post connection, which is another conductor. Two conductors, that encompasses the entire RGH mod. Okay? James, tell your mother that I said hello, and that was a delicious breakfast that she cooked and prepared for me the other night. And I hope that you're doing well. So, what we're going to do, though, is we're going to do something a little different. So if you'll notice right here, it wants us to pull a point right here on DB1F1. We're not going to do that because this is the only point that's on the top of the board. There's an alternative point that we can tap that's on the bottom, and let me pull that in here. And right here you'll see this is on the bottom of the board. We'll locate this, but this will keep us from having to run wires from the top and the bottom side of the board. So, having said that, let's take a look at what we have. Let's move back to mod testing. Not mod testing, let's move back to modding, excuse me. And let's pull these pictures off so we can take a look at what we have. We've got our board here, great. The only thing that I'm going to do is flip this baby right around. Now, we're looking at the bottom here, and I may adjust this camera. Let's see how much of a zoom we can get on this from this angle. Okay, this isn't too bad. This is kind of serviceable. I still might try to... Let's see if we can come in any harder. Ooh, I'm going to come harder. Okay, just tell me real quick, guys. Is the zoom on this okay? Can you guys see this? Can you guys see everything that we're looking at here? I mean, is it legible or is it pretty gnarly? Okay, looks good? Great. All right, so. Perfect. We'll back this out. So what we're going to first do is we're going to identify the points that we need. The problem with all of these guides is they don't have a blown out picture where they circle the area that you're going to, or they put like a box around the area that we're going to be focusing on. So you literally have to go on a wild goose chase. What I'm going to do is we're going to start with this alt point, and I can tell right here in the corner, in the top left hand, we have an empty footprint. I'm assuming from where a regulator lives. Now I'm going to look on this board, see if I can't find that. FTP 2P2. Let me just take a quick look here. Give me just a moment of your time. Right here. Okay, so there's a difference. There is a difference. I'm going to zoom in very, very hard and very long with my dong. So let me take this off. FTP 2P22 FT2R2. So great. Right here, I think this is where we're going to be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in just like this. You guys should have a pretty good shot of that, and we're going to compare. Now notice that the LDO here, this voltage regulator, is populated on our board, but not in the picture. Let's see if this is what we're looking for. Yes. Yep, this is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, I want to see if I can't just drill in a little bit further. Wow, I can go in pretty far with this. Is that still clear? Is that blurry, or is that a good shot? Pretty clear? Okay, great. So let's just make sure. This is our PLL point right here. Very simple to follow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my soldering iron, and I'm sorry if my hand just went through the frame there. And I'm going to grab some solder. And I just want to touch that up just to make it a little bit shinier so I can see what's going on. Am I in the right area here? Yes, I am. Right there. Okay, gotcha. Okay, just like that. Now that just makes it a little shinier, adds a little contrast, makes it easier for me to see. And I am going to solder in position our resistor. Now let me put this down for just a second because I'm going to have to either get another one out or find the one that I just put down. Let's see. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so we have our resistor right here. I'm going to set this down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of flux on this. Ow. Not too much, that's perfect. Just a little bit here for contact. I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to angle this up just a bit like so. Whoops, 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 whoops. Oh man, hold on. Let me grab it with my tweezers. Perfect. Okay, so where were we? We still in the shot here? Nope. I think we are now. Okay, great. So we're going to come right in here with this angled up just a bit, and I'm going to make contact just like that. Now this is angled up because even though this is probably perfectly safe, I don't want to run the risk of this old-ass board shorting to anything underneath. Hey, Cosmic Katamari, have a great day. I've got just a bit of an angle on this. This keeps the resistor from resting. There's some traces under here, and I want to make sure that I am not going to short this at any time. I want to tin the other end of this, and I'm going to attach a conductor. Now I've got some conductors already here tinned. The question is, though, where does this go? So we've got our alternate point here. Let's turn this off. Let's turn this on. And this goes directly under, if we look carefully here, on the right side of this picture, right here, TP7 7R3, that is going to go, let me flip this upside down first. Let me try to find this first, guys, so I can see right here. Okay, I see it. So turn this off. TP7R73. I want to back this out just a bit. That's a little hot. Okay, I believe we're going to be looking at a solder position right here. Let's check that picture once more. I wish there was a way that fucking OBS would let me blow this up. Hold on. Here we go. Let's try that. Let me scroll down here. There we go. See right here the CPU PLL? The TP7R3 is to the right of it. It's 2 points over. I think that's where we're at. Yes, that's exactly where we're at. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab, and I'm going to come in here. I see the point right here. Perfect, just like that. It's a little shinier now. I can see it. You guys can visualize it better. That's all we're wanting to do. What I'm going to do is we will take... Okay. We will take a conductor here. Where does this run to? I'm just looking at where this is supposed to go. Okay, I see it. Okay, gotcha. I'm going to put a little bit of the juices on here. Great. Now this is a little hard for me, guys, and remember, I'm soldering in a very unconventional way because I really can't see. But I'm going to come right in here and I'm going to advance our exposed conductor. Now this resistor and this point technically are a part of the same node. So whether if I grab either of them here, it's perfectly okay. But I'm going to put this right in position like this. Okay, and I'm going to come in here and lay this flat. Flat against it. Now watch carefully. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, right in the hole, right in the money shot. Oh daddy, oh daddy. Perfect. Okay? How about that? So we've got that in position. I'm going to zoom out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this down and I'm going to run this across just like this because our resistor is way over here. See this bodge right here? This is where our resistor is. See our little bodge right there? That's our resistor. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I am going to... Actually, I'm just going to leave this alone. Okay, I'm going to come right over here. Actually, I'm going to look at something. I want to see if we can go ahead and grab... Can we go ahead and grab this other section? Now, where's this at? Let me look, hold on. Let me look. I'm looking for this section. See the little orange wire here? R3, P7. R3. All the way over here. I think it's all the way over here.
Yeah, well, how long it take you motherfuckers to cut a check?
I think we're right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on this. I'm going to leave my hand here. You guys tell me if we're in the right place. I think we are. I'm going to zoom in. Whoa, that's pretty good. Okay, R3, P7. Right here. See it? R3, P7. Now let's bring up the picture. R3, P7. See this right here? R3, P6, and then R3, P7's right above it, and we've got that little exposed pad above it. I think that is where we're going with this side. So it's this pad right here. Got it. Let's go ahead and get this prepped and done. Okay, not a problem. We'll just apply a little bit of fresh solder there, just like that. Perfect. Now I can see that very clearly. Okay, so now I can do some work. Now I've got two conductors here that I can work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to split this down. You guys can't see this. I'm doing this off camera. I'll back out a little bit so you guys can see what's going on here. I've got a 2-conductor run here. I'm just going to take this orange cable that we'll be using. I'm just going to back this down like so. Bring it down, 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 down. RP37 is right here. I see it. I'm going to keep going right here, right here, right here, right here. Stop right there. And we got a pretty good run there. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay. That's basically where I want to keep this, so I'm going to pull this in just a little bit, put a little bit of tension on this if I can. I may redo that actually. Hold on, let me look. What am I looking for here? Give me just a second, guys. I'm looking for... Okay. Just take a quick look at something. Okay, sorry. I just want to verify something here real quick on this board. Okay, FT607. I'm just looking at the wire path here. Okay, I got it. So I'm going to pull this one off altogether. Yep, gotcha. Sorry about this, guys. I just wanted to make sure everything's in great shape. Let's pull this off. Let's go ahead and solder this conductor into place. We're all the way over here. Where is our little... Where's my finger? Right here. There we have it. Great. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to grab just a bit of flux here. Keep these away from these memories. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Whoa! Let me get in here nice and deep so you guys can see. See that point there that's submersed in flux? That is where you and I are going. We are going to go right in here. You guys can see this okay? I think you can. All right, great. Come right in here. Heat the part, heat the area in question, and just advance that in there like that. Boom. Boom, just like that. Beautiful joint. Okay, so we've got that point set too. Now we've got two different points here. This just literally runs diagonally across all the way. Where's my finger? Right here. FT607. Right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back this out. And all I'm going to put a little weight here to hold this for me. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much for the sub. All I'm going to do is just run this diagonally through. Now typically there would be a diode here, but we're not going to do that. Now where the hell's my finger? I mean, on the camera looking down, I'm trying to figure out where my finger is. I gotta find it. Alright, so we're going to zoom in here. Thank you so much, Diablo511. God bless you. Now let's just make sure we're in the right space here. We are. So if we look here very clearly, we can see FT607. That is the test point. That is that's where the post-out codes can be read. That's exactly where we need to be. So that's perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here, hold this nice and taut. Okay, just like this. Oop, my finger's in the way a little bit there. That's pretty good. Pretty good tension on that. I'm going to come to the other side here, cut. I got it pinched, so now I can just come in here and cut freely. Perfect. I'm going to pull this out. Get some wire cutters here. Okay, just like this. Very simple. You guys really can't see this, but I'm going to cut. See? Just cut just a little bit of conductor like that. Cut the sheathing off. I'm going to sheath all over your mom. Okay? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Unless, you know, there's money involved. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is you can't see this, but I'm just going to pretend this. Perfect. Okay, great. Now, the only thing remaining here for us, put a little weight on this, is I'm going to pre-tin this pad, FT607. You guys can see that right there. I'm going to come right in here, and we're just going to apply some fresh solder, just like that. Now, that's a perfect little mound of solder. I'm going to just help this along the way. You're going to see just a drop. Flux like that, not a big deal. I'm going to take some masturbatory tweezers that I used this morning. Bring our tip here a little bit. And I'm just going to advance this in like so. Now watch carefully, nice and tight. Keep tension on the conductor. Always keep good tension on the conductor. And I'm just going to come right in here. Now watch carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Beautifully done. So now we have. Whoa, let me back this out here. We've got that fix in. Let's come to the other side of this. Let's bring this in. Our red conductor, remember that resistor that we put into place? That's exactly where this is going to go, and I'll show you exactly how you can do that and go about doing that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it this way. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about it crossing there. That's perfectly fine. Okay, and I'm just going to run it across. Let it ride against the X clamps here, and right there's our resistor. Right there. Just going to hold this nice and tight. Keep this away from everything else, just like so. And I'm going to cut it about right here. Perfect. I'm going to hold my hand in this position, and I'm just going to cut this. Whoops. Just like that. All right, we're going to come right in here with our Butthole Pleasures, Volume 3, and we are going to very carefully, just like that, strip that down. And now what I'm going to do off camera is I'm just going to tin that conductor up a little bit here. Perfect. Okay, now we've got a nice coating on that. I want to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in on our resistor. Again, that's elevated. And when I say elevated, that simply means that I have slightly, what we would call in the industry, tombstone this resistor. Now, what does that mean, though? That means it's lifted off the work so that if you'll notice, I have a pair of tweezers here. You'll notice that this pair of tweezers actually can go under the resistor. In other words, this resistor is not laying on the board. Now, for all intents and purposes, it's perfectly fine to lay this flat against the board if you really want to. There are no traces here. This is just empty board plane. There's nothing here that it's going to short to or short with, so you don't have to do this. There is just this little trace. Thank you very much for the sub. Thank you very much, Box Meal. Nice to see you, Box Meal, and thank you for the gift that keeps on giving. God bless you. There is this little trace underneath. Not really a big deal. Just leave it be. Been a couple of years. Voltar got fat. Well, you know what? That is really rude. That is a very rude thing to say, and now my feelings are hurt. I want him banned immediately. I want him banned for his body shaming and for his lack of tact. The evil milkshake will be banned. No, you're getting banned for that. You're getting banned for that, you son of a bitch! Okay, so here's what we have here, okay? We have our conductor pre-tinned, and we're just going to put just a drop of flux on that, on the end of our resistor. We've already pre-tinned the end of the resistor, so we'll have a good union here. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this in. Just going to bring this in like this, very simply. Might cut a little bit of that material off. Okay. Just to cut a little bit of that excess off. Now I'm going to come right in here. Now watch this. We're just going to marry these two. Now I'm going to come in here. I want to make this perfectly parallel if I can. Boy, this is rough. Let me try to... Alright, I can't see what the fuck is going on. As you can see, this is very unorthodox. Don't judge me. Boy, it doesn't get any cleaner than that, doing that blindly. Jesus Christ. Good, he deserved to get banned. I mean, goddamn, who comes into a place and talks about people's looks, about how homeless they look, about how fat they are, about how overweight they look, much like Retro RGB? Who does that? Christ. All right. So, having said that, I want to touch that up real quick. Hold on. I don't like that. I think we're a little loose on the end. Let me turn this around. Where are we? Wait, we're right here. Okay, I'm going to hit this on the back side. I shifted it a little bit. I think I got it a little hot. Hold on. Stay with me. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what I'm after. Okay, good connection there. A little elevation. Do I still... What's that question? Okay. Don't forget that. Do I still use the Kester stations? Well, if you're asking that, I'll be happy to answer. The answer is a resounding... Oh, shit, I broke everything. The answer is a resounding... Yes. Yes, I do. You bet your ass. Yeah, sorry, I broke everything to show you that, but I wanted to show you that I wanted you to know the truth. I absolutely. I love the Kester stations. I absolutely still use them daily. Walter, if it wasn't for your teaching skills, I would never be confident to mod my consoles. Recently installed a HW Fly to my Switch without fear of screwing with it. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, so here's what we got. Very simple, very easy here. We've got our we have our post out, and we have our PLL for the CPU. And we are in good shape. So the mod, that is it. That is as far as this needs to go. The RGH3 is complete. That is the extent and the limit of this. As far as that is concerned, we're all set. The only thing remaining here, let me set this down flat, is we have to wire in our programmer so that we can read this in and we can read it out. So I want to turn this back on, and I'm going to reset this so it's not so big. And I'm going to come right here. And we're going to scroll right here. Now, this is the area that we're busy with, that we're going to be most occupied with. Oh, let me fix this. All right, let me just rest my neck for a second. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm just taking a break here. This is rough on my body. Whew. Okay. The next part of this is all about this little wiring harness right here. The RGH3 mod is done. Now, we may have to add a diode. We may not. We'll see if this boots. We'll see if this boots properly and quickly. But ultimately, what's left here is the connection for our programmer to our NAND so that it can interface, we can dump the NAND, we can edit it, glitch it, write it, and we'll be all set. Jeremy, Devin, I didn't see your super chat, Jeremy. I'm so sorry. Did you say something? I'm sorry, guys. You have to understand. I appreciate the super chats, but when I'm working and focusing on consoles, I can't always read them. I appreciate the donations, don't take me wrong, and I appreciate the charity and the giving and the penis pumps, but it's difficult for me sometimes to pay attention to that and not lose focus. I hope you understand. He said, would you ever put together a collection set of the most used common components, resistors, caps, diodes, in different values to sell on your store? Kind of what you keep on hand. I have thought about having, okay, I'm going to take a little break here and talk about this. I have thought about creating a little basic soldering starter kit, which includes very common general purpose components like you're talking about. I don't know if that's something that I'll be doing soon. I have 50,000 projects in the fire. Right now, I just want to get frickin' Super Nintendo finished and done, and then we can talk about it. So let me get SNES done and out the door in customers' hands, and then we can talk about a lot of things that I intend to do, such as holding soldering and electronics classes that are private, where I will teach you how to solder if you want the private instruction and you want my body. Okay, yes, in person. That's right. Come to me. You can come to my house, and if you do things to my body, it can happen. All right, so let's see. Let's move on with this. So right here, let's flip this around. We have a couple of points here we need to start getting to. I am going to take a look at the board here and see what we're looking at. Okay, J2B1. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I understand. I see where we're at. Okay, so J2B1, right here you'll see 6 and 7 on pins. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know how that's labeled that way. That's interesting. Okay, so we've got some soldering connections here that we need to make, green and blue. Let me zoom in. Right here. Now this header here is J2B1, and if we look back at our picture, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so all we need to do here, just so that we have a nice landmark we can view, so we can quickly get there. So I want to go 3 over here. I want to solder that into place. Actually, I'm just going to float this on here. It's fine. Okay, just like that. Perfect. That's all I needed. Now I can see these. And I can clearly tell, now these are all color-coded, and I want to make sure that you guys understand. You'll see that green is 6 and blue is 7 up here. Well, all I have to do, because of the way that this not this Pico flasher, I'll never use that piece of shit again. The way that this wiring harness is color-coordinated for pretty much all the diagrams that I've ever seen. Okay? So we've got green and blue. All I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to grab the green conductor and the blue conductor. Got them. And I'm going to make sure I've got the order correct here. So I think green is on top and blue is on bottom. Right. Okay, great. So this is very simple. All I'm going to do, I'll put a little flux on these just to make my life a little bit easier. All I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to come in here like this, and I'm going to attach a green. Sorry, I had to clean my tip. We're going to attach green to its corresponding pin here. And I'm going to attach blue. Whoops, sorry if this comes out of focus a little bit. I'm going to attach blue where it's supposed to go, which is right here. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be neat. Just make sure the connections are secure. Great, so we're done with that. Let's look at our diagram. Let's scroll down here a little bit on this. So down here we have a few connections here that we need to make, and I'll blow this up just a little bit here so we can see better. Right here off this header, J1D2, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connections, okay? And they're all color coordinated too. So let's get in here. And let's move this. Move! J1D2, right here's the header, okay? I'm going to go ahead and float some fresh solder on all of these. That's a thick board. Don't care if it's on pins I need or not. That's not the point. I'm just floating some fresh juices on there. Perfect. Uh-oh, sorry guys. That got a little testy, didn't it? Okay, great. So we got fresh solder on there. I'm just going to smack a little flux on there to make my job a little bit easier here. And we're going to reference that pin out once more. So we can see 5 is 3 over from the top. Okay, great. Let's just go ahead and do this. So 5 is going to live right here. Okay. So just going to come right in here. Whoops, hold on. I can hardly see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, so there's 5. Let's see what we've got to the left of 5. Nothing. Okay, 4, 2. Let's go ahead and do red, which is 3. Just to get it out of the way. You want to get the ones that are problematic or the ones that are going to be really, really stuck in places that are kind of tight. Go ahead and get those out of the way. So we'll go ahead and we'll do red here. Okay. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Perfect. Okay, we got red. Let's see what else we have here. We've got orange, which is to the left of red. So all I'm going to do, as you guys have seen now a bunch, is I'm just going to come right in here. I hope my finger doesn't block the shot here for you guys. Okay. And then we have black on the left and brown on the right. All right, so that's very simple. We're just going to take our black conductor here. Okay, there's black. And we're going to grab red, or I'm sorry, we're going to grab brown, which lives directly to the right. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Let me get out of the way. Let me get out of the way. I'm in the way. Okay, perfect. Now, well, let me fix it. Hold on, guys. I'm going to come off. I'm going to block the camera, but I just need to be able to see this. That's good. Okay, great. So now what we have is we have the entire header programmed in. We have the header, the programming header, all interfaced to our wiring harness, so we can now get a read on this. Easy. Easy. This stuff is simple. Not a big deal. Nothing to be concerned about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this board over here, and all I'm going to do is I'm not powering anything on. I'm just going to apply a standby voltage by just energizing this board by merely plugging in the power supply. That's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my programmer, and I'm just going to I'm going to plug in our wiring harness just like that. It's done. This is all set and ready to go. I'm going to put this down. I want to take some strain off of this. Hold on just a second. I'm going to put this here. Perfect. Our programmer's in. We're going to move over to our VM, and we're going to load in JRunner, and we're going to then read this NAND, and we're going to manipulate it so we can get it ready. So let's go to Windows 10 VM here. Okay, great. Now you should still be able to see me. We are going to go into the appropriate folder here. Let's see, which one is it? Let me just move some of these here. Okay, here's JRunner. Great. Now we're going to load in JRunner, and it should automatically recognize our XFlasher 360. We should see an XFlasher 360 image here, which we do. As you can see, it's right here. So the only thing that I'm going to do is I am going to begin this by clicking Read NAND. We give this a minute. Now, we have two options here. Now, oh, is my buddy here? Is Modsville, are you here? Is that you, Modsville? I don't remember. You get the option. I believe either option is fine. You can either dump 64 megabytes of the flash, or you can do a full backup. Is it necessary, or is it better practice to do all 256, or is it best just to do, with the big block, is it best just to do the 64 megabyte dump? See, I always just do 64, but I always sometimes think, is there better redundancy if you if you get the 256, or is that totally not necessary? Josh has just got this in here as a provision if you want to do a full dump. Because I just do 64 megabytes, and I thought I would ask you that since you're here. Yeah, me too. Okay, so we're just going to do. I want to do the full backup because it gives me a chance to rest my butthole. Okay, so here we go. I think we're reading in. This will take just a moment in real time. That's a big dump. It's taking a big dump. I think the extra data just saves another shit. Okay, yeah, so it really doesn't matter. I don't think there's anything on here I want to preserve, but if there is, go ahead and do the full backup. I'm going to do it anyways. It's going to take just a little bit of time here, but what, I mean, guys, come on. What are we doing here? Oh, sorry. This is not that kind of a stream. All right, so we're just going to let this run through. This will take about 50 hours. You know, if you guys, you know what? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're not going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to close this. Yes, I'm going to close it. I don't want it to read that. We're not going to do the full backup. For the purposes of this, we're absolutely not going to do the full backup. Let me just make sure there's nothing in here. Yeah, let me pull this out. There is no reason to make you guys sit here and do this. We'll just do the 64 megabyte, which is a fourth of the size. I'm going to read this in. Okay, there. This will go much faster. Ugh. I have done, I think I've done 3 RGH3s on 3 different Jaspers, and I've never had any trouble. They're actually sitting over there. And I've done 3, actually 4. I've done RGH3 on 4 Jaspers, including an Opus, which is just a Jasper without the HDMI stuff. And perfect, no trouble. And I've done 3 Falcons now. I've done 3 Falcons and 4 Jaspers, and I've not had a bit of trouble with RGH3. The trouble that I had last time was with that Pico Flasher, and it had nothing to do with the actual RGH component of the mod. How did Voltar block me on Twitter? I've literally only asked tech questions. I don't know who you are. I have no idea. Are you really coming here just to talk about being blocked? That's a good way to get blocked from here. I mean, my God. Okay, that's moving in a lot faster. Let me fix this up. I'm sorry. That's right. Excuse me. Opus is the stripped down Falcon without the. I didn't mean to say Jasper. So I've done 4 Falcon boards, and I've done 3 Jaspers. Excuse me. What happened to that failed console? So I'll explain this again since there are more people here. When we did the initial stream that was 9 hours long, the failure had nothing to do with the RGH mod. Had absolutely nothing to do with any of the hardware stuff that we did. The problem was Pico Flasher was erroring out, but it wasn't reporting that it was erroring out. We did a dump, and there were a bunch of dumps. There were a bunch of errors in that dump. We done a second dump, and the same errors existed in the second pass of reading it in. So when JRunner read in dump 1 and read in dump 2 and ran them against each other, they matched. Unfortunately, those dumps were corrupted. So when we put Zell onto the memory and we booted up the Xbox, it booted. Zell booted just fine. The RGH glitched, everything was great, but then we got a red screen of death. We got a red screen of death because the data was corrupted. Josh Davidson, the author of JRunner, looked at the original dump data, is totally busted. I'm going to send him that console to see if he can reconstitute the data. But after talking to him and talking to a lot of people, Pico Flasher, as much success as people have with it, people have a lot of bad horror stories with it. And Josh has done everything that he can to make Pico Flasher work as much as he can on his end with JRunner, but there's a lot of things in the code, evidently with Pico Flasher, that's just not very polished. So from this point on, even though Pico Flasher is just a couple of dollars to make, I am putting everything on I am using my $30 X Flasher 360. Do we understand why the Pico reader was corrupted? So from what I understood from Josh, and I'm not speaking for him, but if you watch the replay on the first Xbox live stream, you'll hear exactly what he says. JRunner, it communicates and it works with Pico Flasher as best as it can. But a lot of error reporting functionality is not in the software, it's in the firmware of the device. JRunner has no idea if knowing that the data that's being dumped block for block is valid or not. First, you have to decrypt it to know that. But most importantly, with Pico Flasher gets evidently has problems sometimes, and the bit stream, the data stream coming in isn't right. So we're avoiding that by we're avoiding that. I'm avoiding that in the future. And mind you, I've used Pico Flasher on the 7 consoles that I told you about. I used it on the 4 Falcons, including an Opus and the 3 Jaspers. On C system, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was some sort of error correction handling on the USB port or what. Maybe something got shook. But Pico Flasher failed. It failed. So I'm sending that to Josh, the author of JRunner, whenever he gets time away from school, and he's going to fix up the NAND. All right, so we got a hot dump. Now we're going to read in the second phase. Or did we already read both phases? No, we're reading in. Okay, we're doing the second read. And look, you can see here. So here we have some information that's populated. This is a Jasper big block. There's some data here. Some post data here. We're looking good. And the reason this is taking so slow, the reason this is so slow. No, so the wire length has nothing to do with it. If Pico Flasher has that much of an impedance control issue between having, okay, let me just make this very clear. If this is a problem with Pico Flasher, we're talking maybe 9 inches, of conductor. If we can't, if 9 inches is an issue, then Pico Flasher has bigger problems on its hands, because then that means that probably all those lines, all those data lines, probably need to be better attenuated if this is mucking it up, and this is if this is causing issues. No, the reason this is slow, Vash, is because this is in a VM, and I've only allocated so many resources. Cool running, dude. I've seen your question like 50 times. That's cool. I'm glad that you made some documentation and some diagrams. I'll be happy to check them out later. I've seen that 15 times now. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to work and get this going. I will definitely check that out. Well, you don't ever want to use solid conductor wire like that, especially for data transmission, especially for something like this. Stranded core is really what you're after. Let's see. How are we doing here? Let me give me just a second here. Okay. So, I want to get up and stretch. Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Sorry guys, I just have to stretch a little bit. My back has been acting up. But look, Pico Flasher, great. If you have great success with it, that's wonderful. I don't want to deter you from something that you've had success with or you enjoy, but when the creator of JRunner tells me to stay away from it and other people who are really operating on the back end explain to me the issues that it has, and coupled with my own personal experience with it, yeah, I'm not in good. I can't in good conscience recommend that. And I know, and to be perfectly honest with you, like I've had some run-ins with the guy who made that. His name online is Ballicka or something. Ballicker. I don't know. He's kind of a douchebag, anyways. He's not a very nice person, so it's nothing negative to him or anything. But like, I don't really care to. I'm not going to do anything to help that guy. In other words, normally I would be more apt to maybe help him improve that, but he's kind of an asshole. So no, absolutely not. He can get bent. This hot dump is going to come. It is coming. Ban away. Ban away, my dear. Well, Desert Wolf, I would hope that because of its open source nature, somebody would take a look at Pico Flasher and fix it up because I think it's great. It's wonderful. It's free. Effectively, those boards cost $4 or $5. You know, but you got to look at this exactly, Retro Jim. You got to put this in a proper context. That's a $4 thing. You got to build a wiring harness for it. Great. If you're a DIYer, that's fantastic. I spent 9 hours troubleshooting a problem that was the direct cause of using it. 9 hours to me is definitely worth the $30 to have a competent tool. All right, here we go. Almost. Oh, oh, Daddy. Daddy, no. Daddy, don't touch me there. No, Daddy, no. Sorry, I was actually recounting a voicemail that RetroRGB sent me about 6 hours ago. Okay, great. Let's see. It's going to compare them to see if there are any discrepancies. And it looks like NANDs are the same. So we are in good shape. All right, so here we have it. All I'm going to do now is we've got fresh dumps. So what we're going to do is we're going to set some parameters. I'm going to make sure this is set to glitch 2, which it's already set. We've got the latest kernel version selected. We're going to select RGH3, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our NAND dumped and we're going to write just a little bit of code, a bootloader that's going to allow us to, and I'm also going to, well, not going to DC anything yet, but that's going to allow us to grab our CPU keys and other information that's proprietary to the system, and that will effectively allow us to get everything that we need to decrypt and unlock this system so that we have full anal access, full access. So here we have it. I've got everything set up here. I'm going to go ahead while I'm here though, before I get too busy here. I'm going to connect this, and I'm going to go ahead and connect this just to get this ready. Okay, great. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to create the Zell. Okay, so we're going to click this, image created, and I'm going to write this. Now we're going to write this little bit of data back into our NAND using our programmer by just clicking write Zell. This will be pretty quick, I think. Might take me 10 seconds or so. I don't care if you guys see these keys. I don't care. Who cares? So, oh, let me just. Ah, or I could, I could not let you guys see this. I could just do this. You guys might not see anything. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to, and I may in fact do that because I don't trust you. It really doesn't matter anymore. Look, Xbox Live's going away in or the store is certainly going away in like a couple of months. I'm using the X-Flasher 360. So we've got this written. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to unplug our programmer. Programmer's been decoupled. We're done here. Let's go to mod testing, and we're going to try booting this thing to see. We're going to see if our glitching is going to work. Let's see if this Jasper is going to RGH3. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we're on. Give it just a second. Okay, there we go. We're booting. Great, so we're in good shape. Now it's going to pull some information off my network here. Okay, great. So we're all set. Now, we have been assigned the address 192.168.1.58, so I'm going to move back to the Windows VM. And rather than having to write all those keys down, I am just going to type this in. Okay, that's the address. I don't care if you guys see this. And we're just going to click Get CPU Key. It's going to reach out across the internets, actually off the internal LAN. If I click this, yep, and I'm going to click scan devices. Where do we go? I can't remember. Is that right? I don't remember. Hold on, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Connection timeout. Okay, did I say whoa, hold on. Did I got the right IP here? 192, oh, 152, not 58. I'm sorry. It's 192.168.1.52. Okay, not a big deal. I was wondering why that wasn't coming up. So I'm just going to have this information auto-populate, like so. Get CPU key, boom, here we go. All right, now we've got full decryption here. Good to go. No, it'll work fine with the VM. Okay, so there we have it. We have everything ready to go. The only thing that I have to do now is I have to create XE build and write NAND. Wait, hold on. I don't remember. Hold on. Let me stand. Oh, yeah. Oh, Daddy, I'm here for you. I'm here. Okay, so are we going to, oof. Ooh, my back is killing me. So we create the XE build, and then we write to the NAND. Now let me go ahead and power the system down. And I'm going to do that simply by coming over here. Okay. I'm going to plug our, you can't see this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug our programmer right back in. Perfect, just like that. And we're going to come right over here, and we've got our NAND dump. Now, we booted the system, we injected that little bootloader, we've got our CPU keys, we've got all the information that is proprietary to this that allows us to decrypt our NAND. We're going to create our XE build. Okay? And then we're going to write these changes back. Now we're writing to NAND. And this will take a couple of minutes. I will never use Pico Flasher ever again. Ever. Now, they're all my keys. You can see them. You can write them down. Xflasher just works. It just works. It's reliable. You don't have to go through a stupid procedure of first getting standby power to the Xbox, then starting JRunner, then plugging in the USB port. It's just an invaluable tool. Pico Flasher is a great open source project, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just no way in shape or form comparable to Xflasher. This is the entire process of using the RGH3 method to jailbreak the 360. That's right. I do what I want. Josh has done an amazing job. Josh has done an amazing job with JRunner. It supports all sorts of different programmers. The interface here is really nice, very easy to maneuver and follow. Josh is or Octal 360 is a phenomenal contributor to the Xbox 360 hacking scene. So, a big hat off to him and for all of his help and support. I mean, Josh is just, JRunner was a totally different animal before he got a hold of it. Josh is amazing. Unbelievable wealth, an unbelievable wealth of information with these systems. So I learned my lesson. I will never use Pico Flasher again. I will just use the Xflasher 360. Um, you know, that's just me. Are we done? Nope, we're still writing. We're still writing. We are writing, baby. Oh, I can't. If somebody in chat wants to type out everything that I've already said about a dozen times about what the problems were, you can go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't repeat this for like at least the sixth time now what the problems were with the original board. It's really, just watch the replay. Um, have you done any 4 GB Coronas? That's interesting. I think that's what I have over here. I'm glad you asked that because I intend to. I intend to do this. Now, I'm pretty sure that I don't know if this is a Corona or a Trinity. I think it is. No, actually, no. I'm sorry. This is a 4 GB Corona because there is no storage. But when you turn it on, there's 4 GB of space, and the manufacturing date, which you guys can't probably read that, but it is 2012. Oh, we're all done here. But maybe we'll do this on stream too. I'm pretty sure this is a 4 GB Corona, and I would love to RGH that for you in real time. Okay, so we're all done here. Everything is ready to go. We wrote that in. I am going to unplug our programmer. And we're going to try to turn this on. So we're going to move back to mod testing. Wherever my cursor went. There we are. Mod testing. Let's turn it on and let's see if this boots normally. Now, it should absolutely boot into stock dash. Well, hold on a second. Oh, ooh. Okay, that's plugged in, that's plugged in, that's plugged in. Let's see if this goes. Okay, I am getting... Maybe did I do a wrong step? I'm getting a red ring now. Hold on, let's see what this is. 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0. Okay, well, what the hell's wrong now? Let's see, hold on. Huh. Let me do that again. Hold on. Let me just do this. Let me do that one more time. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's fine. All right. Let me just make sure I'm not crazy. No, everything here looks perfectly good. Okay. Damn, immediate red ring of death. No, I don't. No, it's definitely not cooling. Let's see what the code is. 0020. 0020. What is that, general failure? Oh, plug the fan in. Oh, Jesus. My bad. I think you're right. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna plug your fan in. Alright. Alright. Fans kick on. Thank you, Modsville. I think... No, that wasn't it. Okay, so let's try putting in that diode. So before we do anything, let's turn this around. Let's try... Let's see if it needs that diode. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful with this. I'd like to put this on a little stand. Actually, let me use this. Alright. I'm going to put this up like this. Sorry, guys, I'm going to show you everything that we're going to do here. All we're going to do, let me go back to mod testing, is we're going to put this diode in right here off this connection. I'm going to grab a diode. I'm just going to bodge this in temporarily here just to see. Now, Josh always says, try it without the diode. If you red ring or if it fails to boot, just put the diode in. So we're going to come and look at that diagram once more. That diode lives right here. Okay? Very simple. Not a big deal at all. I'll just get this prepped a little bit here. Okay. Let me move this out of the way. We'll just stuff this diode in there. Might not like these voltages. So the diode will work to bring those down to create a voltage drop across. Oh, sorry guys, you can't see. I'm sorry. Here, let me turn this off. Okay, so you guys can't even see super well what I'm doing anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm just going to come right in here, very temporarily, just bodge this in, see what we get. No real mess or fuss here, just enough. What do I do with the... Okay, perfect. So let's try that. Move this back over here to mod testing. Okay, there we go, there we go. Let's plug our fan in here. Okie dokie. Fan's plugged in. Got our diode in place. We're ready to give this a go. No. We are... Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Alright, let's try this. So we wrote that data in. Before we do anything, give me just a second. I'm going to come over here. We've got our data in. We're in good shape there. Do you think we should try... think we should try 10 megahertz on this? Well, the fan is plugged in. Let me stand up for a second. Oh, okay, so do you think we should try... Hey, Call C, AJ's Tech, I'm pretty sure I can solder better than you can in my sleep, so knock it off. Oh, God, yeah, hold on. Let me just... Okay, let's bring this down to 10 megahertz. Let's create that XE build. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, let's see if we can pull this data back in. Okay. All right. Well, it has to be... Wait, sorry. There we go. It has to be... It either has to be clocking it differently. Well, that's the thing. See, it had no trouble booting. It had no trouble booting when we got into the bootloader. Maybe we just got lucky on that. Maybe we just got onto a tick where it phased in and was able to glitch. We'll try 10 megahertz. Okay, so what are we doing here? Okay, so let me make sure I got this. Okay, there we go. Everything's good. And we're going to write NAND. And we'll write to this again. Okay, whoa, hold on. Let's see, hold on. That's me. Is it not? Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. There. I didn't want to do that yet. I think we're okay. Hold on. Let me put this here. Now we should be able to write no problem. Now it should write. All right, so it should take a couple of minutes. Who is this? There we go. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. If that is the case, well, this will be the first Jasper that I've had to RGH2. Well, let's see what happens here. There we go. Okay, we're about halfway through this. Well, so really the problem is it's just the nature. I'm not exactly sure how to explain this the same way that Josh explained it. But with some Jaspers, RGH3 is flawless. Other Jaspers, RGH3 really has trouble booting and glitching out the CPU. It's really just one of those things where it's the luck of the draw. What kind of silicon you have on the chip, how tolerant it is, and if it's not, you're going to run into troubles with the RGH3. If it is tolerant, you're not going to run it. It'll boot just fine. The thing is, though, we booted into Zell perfectly fine. We glitched the system. It glitched and it was successful. It was only when we wrote this back. It's only when we wrote the full, not just the bootloader, but we wrote the full NAND back that it's failing. So we started without the diode because that's typically what Josh recommends. We booted fine with Excel with Zell. We got in, we got our CPU keys. Then when we went to turn it back on after writing the NAND back, we ran into some trouble. So now what we've done is we've took the diode, we installed it, we booted it, we're still having trouble. Now we're going to adjust the timing here, the frequency from 27 megahertz to 10 megahertz to see how that works. Josh is the person who's wrote JRunner effectively and is really responsible for the software that we're using in the state it's in today. So we're about done here. We're going to write this back in. Yes, Josh is Octal 450 360. Great guy. So we'll give this a shot. Okay, we've written that in. Perfect. Let's come over here. We've got it all plugged in. Let's move over to mod testing. Okay, let's hit the big eject button here. Now we're booting. Now we're booting. Okay, so this was probably just a timing issue. Everything's fine. We're booting in, no problem. Very fast boot. Okay. I'm going to boot this in normally. Fast boots. Super fast boots. That was an incredibly fast glitch. So, we're in good shape. Yeah. Booted perfectly fine. So, I wonder if it was the diode that I don't think it has anything to do with the diode. Let's take the diode out. Shall we? Let's take the diode out just to see how consistent we are. I hate pulling this out. It's so hard to pull it out. Oh, yeah. We're going to take the diode out, and we're just going to take a quick look here. What the diode does is it drops the operating voltage because the CPU... There are multiple voltage domains with the Xbox 360, and rather than using like a full-on voltage translator or a level shifter, effectively what the diode is, it's just a cheap, hacky kind of way of doing that, which is perfectly fine for a silicon that really needs that. So what I'm going to do real quick off camera, this is literally going to take me 2 seconds. I'm just going to pop this diode off, and we're going to take a look, and we're going to restore this back with no diode to see how well we're operating here. So 1, 2, 3, that's already off. Okay, diode comes off, great. Grab our, yep, right here, boom. We're already set, we're already done. Great, so let's pull this out, put this back into position, and let's see what we accomplish, whoops, without the diode if we still get fast, consistent glitching. Okay? Everything's out and ready to go here. I'm going to move, we're still in mod testing here, so here we go. Let's just turn this on. Boom. Boom. Fast glitch. So it was just changing that timing file from 27 to 10 megahertz. Right. Well, that's pretty good. So that's a glitchless. That's a glitchless or a glitch chip free way. And while we're here, I'm going to turn this off. Well, before I turn it off, let's do some. Let's boot it a few times to make sure it's consistent. So, Jacob Spector, a comment on the last RGH video mentioned there may have been accidental bridging when soldering a resistor. Those 2 points that were bridged are actually they're actually already connected under the solder mask. So it doesn't matter if you bridge those 2 little points or not in that footprint. It had nothing to do with the console failing. All right, let's turn this back on. Super fast. So this is booting consistently and quickly now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this just a few more. So we've done 3, let's do 4. This is the 4th boot. As soon as I hit the button, I'm going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a 5-second boot. Turn this off. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again. Ow, my hand. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 seconds again. Looking good. Shut it down. Plug the fan in just while we're doing this. I'll do about 4 more of these. Where's my little shield too? My little shield of truth. Oh, it's right here. Just to kind of that just to kind of tunnel some of this air through here. That's what I want. Okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to boots times may change while it's in the metal cage. Also try that. No, I'm not going to try that because the metal cage is just going to be it's just going to have a Faraday effect, and as long as your routing's good, and my routing's really good, there's really no compelling reason to do that. So I am not going to put this back in its metal cage yet. All I'm going to do is I am going to go to modding, and I'm going to show you guys real quick. We're just going to very gently and easily remove our wiring harness. Comes off much faster than it goes in, as you can see. Nice and clean here. Okay, come way over here. We got some things we got to get out of there, obviously. 1, 2, boom. Beautiful. Okay. Looking good there. We're in great shape. Move this out of the way. You know what? Since you're asking, why don't we go ahead and get that metal cage? We'll just do it. No real utility in this, but we'll do it because you've asked. Go ahead and mount this back in. Okay, very carefully. Sorry guys, you probably won't be able to see this too well, but I'm just going to very carefully bring this back in here. Pick it up from the back and just slowly bring this in. Well, hold on a second. 792. This isn't the right cage. I don't think this is the right cage. Hold on, let me look. 825-149. Oh, I don't give a shit. Who cares? Okay, so I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to snake that in like so. Okay, that's in. We'll go ahead and we'll clamp our fan into position like this. Okay, shove the fan in there. Fan's in position. Go ahead and put our easy does it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, we've got our shroud in there. Now I have some black screws. I'll worry about those in a minute. Not too concerned about that right now. We'll put this back together. Since it was asked, oh, I couldn't see. There we go. We're going to go ahead and just plug our little interface right here back into position. Plug it in. I can't see. Make sure all this is in there properly. It is, it is, it is. Thank you very much. Put it in there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Couldn't see it. Okay, plug that in. Plug that in. Looking good. Okay, let's turn it on. Oh, wait. Hold on. Why is my... Hold on, my capture's not... Let me fix my capture. Is that it? Nope. Windows 10 VM. Son of a... Oh, it's booting. Hold on. Let me go to RetroTink 4K. Yeah. Hold on. I know what's wrong. Okay. That should come through now. Make sure this is plugged in. Yeah, looking good here, looking good there. Alright. Let me take this out so I can look at this. There. Okay, let's try it. Now, are we getting a black? There we go. Alright. I messed up my capture. Sorry about that. Is it coming through now, though? Did it boot and come through? Okay, cool. We're in good shape here. I mean, we're running. So, the vertical line is not has anything to do with the Xbox 360. The vertical line has everything to do. You'll watch it go away. It has everything to do with this prototype of the RetroTink 4K. It was something that we were working out. You'll see it go away here. It's just a problem. It's just a quirk with this old development prototype of the RetroTink 4K. So, that's it. You know, as far as the procedure is concerned, RGHing is extremely simple. I mean, a lot of people may have trouble disassembling their Xbox and breaking it down, but the actual process is not a big deal. It's very simple to do. It requires, as you saw in this stream, sometimes a little bit of thinking. It might not work immediately and perfectly on your first go, but that's okay, as long as you're able to sort of work on things in a very sensual manner, and as long as you know some of the documentation. Like, if you're pretty familiar with JRunner and how to navigate that software, we changed the timing from 27 megahertz to 10 megahertz, and now we get 5-6 second boots with a Jasper. Now, is RGH3 worth doing on a Jasper or on a Falcon or Jasper Fat system? If it works, yes, but just be prepared for the possibility that RGH3, which effectively means that it doesn't require a glitch chip, might not work with your Falcon, Opus, or Jasper revision. Does for us, but just keep that in mind and be prepared to fall back on a glitch chip. And most important, Philippe says, invest in an Xbox 360 opening tool. I totally agree. That is what one of these are. This is an Xbox 360 opening tool, and my God, does it make the job a breeze. So, we're in good shape. And also, if you ever want to test this, stuff, it's really simple. So, a lot of people on the internet, they're like, well, how do you get back into, like, it looks like a bone stock Xbox. Well, all you have to do is press the eject button. If you press the eject button, am I getting it? Did I hit it? I can't tell if I hit it. I think I hit it. If you press the eject button, there we go, I hit it. You will boot back into the Zell bootloader, which is what this is. And obviously, yes, very good, Mr. Fix-It. If you're taking apart one of these systems, I've already done this one, be sure to repaste the CPU and the GPU and the EDRAM. They're very old. This system, so Xbox 360s, it really depends. It really depends on the revision. If it's a Xenon or if it's a Zephyr, which are the first two revisions there, don't expect those to last, as a general rule of thumb. Falcons are quite reliable. Jaspers are extremely reliable Xbox 360 FATs. and if you have a good working Falcon that works to this day, or a Jasper that works to this day, chances are it's going to last you quite a long time. But Xbox 360s are so cheap, go ahead and grab a couple of backups. That way, for the rest of your life, if you love the system, you'll have the hardware. But that's really it. I mean, it's very simple. So Fats, try the RGH3. If it works, you're in good shape. If it doesn't, you can always fall back on a glitch chip. If you're doing a Trinity or a Corona Slim, that's RGH3 all day long. I have a Zephyr. Now, I have a Zephyr that was sent into Microsoft to be fixed, and Microsoft didn't replace it with a Jasper or a Falcon. They reworked the GPU on it, and the GPU they reworked on it has a much higher fill on its solder interposer, and it's very reliable. So the Zephyr that I have is just as reliable as any super reliable modern Jasper or Falcon Xbox 360. So the post-fix, I think, on the Corona specifically, is there on some systems, and it's not on other systems. And for the systems, for the versions of the Corona that don't have the post out, what they have, if I can find it here for you, let me look over here. Give me just a second. Let me take a quick look. I have a drawer here full of various fun things. Oh, here we go. So for Coronas that don't have the post-out pins, and you've got to get under the die, or you have to get to the balls, you've got the Corona. Let me move over here. Sorry about this. You have Corona Postfix V2. What this does is this Postfix adapter, all it's responsible for is just sitting underneath. It slides under the chip, and you get these connections right here. Mainly, it's this bad boy right here. This bad boy makes contact directly to the CPU pin or to the ball on the bottom of the VGA. And some Coronas do require this because they don't break this connection out to a via, away from the VGA. Anywho, well, I've said it once, and I've said it twice, and I've said it 30 times. Like, I just, if you want to risk this, if you want to use this, if you want to use the Pico Flasher, go right ahead, use it. If it checks all the boxes for you, and if you're not afraid of taking a risk, that risk, use it. But as far as I'm concerned, I would strongly advise you to consider the X-Flasher 360. It's not expensive. Like I said, maybe 30 bucks, 35 bucks shipped. And this is a much more comparable programmer, writer, and dumper for all Xbox 360s. If the firmware was better supported, updated, and more mature and polished, I would have no problems continuing to recommend the Pico Flasher. But based on the last 9-hour stream that we had, I can't in good conscience recommend this. I just can't. So, okay, easy. Make sense? Did you guys have a good time? Was this fun? Any questions before we go? I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Yeah, so the JR programmer is really good now too. The main problem with the JR programmer was that it didn't have a digitally signed driver, so getting that thing to communicate properly with your Windows OS was it could be cumbersome and difficult. But now that there's a digitally signed driver, the JR programmer is very good too. Very good. What are the plans for this 360? I don't know. I don't know exactly. I am going to probably just... I don't know yet. It's a good question. Don't have an answer yet. Hey, thank you, Brian. Thank you. Hey, from Iowa. Thank you for all your videos. Thanks for watching. Is the modded Xbox safe to take on Xbox Live at all now? You know, I'm not a person that can answer that because I don't use Xbox Live. I imagine not. You would probably want a dual NAND, so you'd have a vanilla version and a modified version. Certainly, though, people that used to hack Call of Duty lobbies, they were doing that with you know, JTAG'd and RGH systems. I don't think it's ever safe to take a hacked console onto a paid subscription service like that. So that's that. Okay, see, there you go. Modsville knows if you set up Proto Stealth, you'll be fine to take it online. Well, I didn't know that. Voltar, thanks for teaching us the right technique and ultimately understanding the real tools are not the iron. That's right. That's exactly right. I would admit that the online scene of Xbox 360 is dead. I don't think anyone's playing COD 2 or 3 or Black Ops, you know, and whatever online games were popular. I don't even know if the Halo 3 lobbies are open anymore. Don't know. Don't know. But, you know, I'm all about... I never got online with this system, and I certainly would never pay for Xbox Live, so I don't know. I just don't know. But I hope this I hope this makes up for the 10-hour stream or the 9-hour stream that we did before. Very straightforward. We had no issues. Just had to make a little programming change on the frequency. Super fast boots with the RGH3 on this Jasper. Not a big deal. Pretty quick. That's probably one of the faster systems that I have with RGH3, to be perfectly honest with you. That thing's pretty quick. And to be honest with you guys, I'm learning now how to load backups onto a modded X360 using XEX menu and dashboard loader and Aurora as a replacement dashboard. And I will say that the process is a lot easier, or it's a lot... I enjoy it a lot more than I enjoy loading shit onto the PlayStation 3. Is a damaged FT627 point going to make it impossible to RG8? I think you can grab that, maybe off the CPU. I don't know. You'd have to look to see if there's an exposed area where that can also be grabbed. So you could probably grab that if it's broken out on another section of the board, and it would be no problem. Is this only for fat 360s, or can slim versions use this as well? Actually, RGH3 is most ideal for slims. So if you've got a Corona or a Trinity Slim, this is really what you want to use over a glitch chip. I don't think that the last revision of the 360, which I think they called the Winchester, I don't think currently it's... I could be wrong, but I don't believe that is currently compatible with any RGH or any hackable solution currently available for the Xbox 360. But this system only required a resistor. We didn't need a diode. That wasn't necessary. Boots incredibly fast, and you know, it was just that 22K resistor in series on the CPU's PLL. Two wires. I mean, really, we're talking about 2 wires here. Now, of course, you have to wire in the programmer manually, but that's easy stuff. All of this is easy stuff. The Xbox is really easy. It's just a matter of making sure that the tools that you're using are good. As we learned last time, we didn't get good reads on that, even though they matched. A shitty read matched the second pass of the shitty read. And, you know, what can you do? What can you do? But Josh is going to take care of that. Shame he wasn't able to join us today. He's a good man. Okay, guys. I had a great time. Did you guys learn anything? Was this instructional? Was this informative? Did you have fun? Let me know real quick. Was this good? Was this fun? You know, let me know. Tell me real quick. Was this a fun stream? I mean, this house is clear. Okay, good. Thank you. It was fun. Great to hear it. Guys, have a great Friday. I hope everyone has a great time. You know, write Bob a letter. He's currently in prison again for horseplay. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I know I'm fat, which I was reminded of multiple times here, and then I have a very disheveled appearance, and I look homeless. But we'll do it again. Maybe next time. Okay, let me ask you this. Would you like to see me do a slim? Maybe this black Corona that I have. Would you like to see me do that? I just want to know. Tell me. So we'll do a slim next time? Okay, so we'll do a slim. Now, I've never taken apart a slim, so you guys will have to help me with that. I'm a total rank amateur with Xbox stuff, Xbox 360 stuff, so if you guys can help me with the slim, I will absolutely be happy to do it. Never disassembled a slim before, so that'll be new for me too. Retro RGB, this is not slander. Retro RGB has huge tits. Absolutely massive milkers. Okay? It's not a joke. It's a fact. All right, guys, take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. We'll get a slim up and going. Okay? Take care. See you next time. I've said that now twice. Take care.